heart is to pump blood to all parts of the body. So in examinations, you just need to ask, you just need to write the heart function is to pump blood to all part of the body, and you will get a full 1 mark. Let me just see whether I can answer heart or not. Yes. So the heart, basically, the function is to pump blood to all part of the body. All right. Similarly, for the blood vessels, all right, the blood vessels function is to enable blood to be transported to all parts of the body. Vice versa as the blood. All right, the blood function is to transport oxygen, digested food, and water to part of our body, transport carbon dioxide to the lungs for removal, and transport waste material away for removal. So all these three are the functions of the different types or different parts of the circulatory system. All right. Okay, good. All right. Without further ado, let us continue. Next question. All right. As you can see that the answers are all in one page. All right. So the next answer is, how does different system work together to, okay, so here. So the all these system work together with all this system here. So once you write down all these in green, you answered the question in green. All right. Without further ado, let us carry on to the next page. All right. All right. Study the human system. Which of the following are true? So as mentioned earlier in the boxes here, all right, the answer is 4 A, B, C, because the system transport substance around the body. It made up of heart, blood vessels, and blood. And it is the system that circulate blood from the heart to all parts of the body and back to the heart. So that's why the answer is 4. Well, the explanation are as follows. I believe that is quite clear. So this system diagram shows the human circulatory system. All right, and this system is made out of heart, blood vessels, and blood. This system circulate blood that transports substance from the heart to all part of the body, and from all part of the body back to the heart. And lastly, it transports oxygen, water, and food to all part of the body, and transport waste materials, including carbon dioxide, away from the body to the respective area. Now, let me ask you a question. Volunteer, please. How to answer B? What are the 3 parts that made up the system? We just mentioned earlier. Any volunteers? Okay, fighting style. Yes, answer.
Blood vessel, heart, and the lung.
Okay, yes, you're right. The answer for this question is heart, blood vessels, and blood. Did I hear you say lungs? If you say lungs, is wrong. Lungs don't belong to this system. Lungs belong to the respiratory system, all right? So this question, I think I answered earlier already. So I will skip this. Next one. So study the human organ. This picture is known as the heart. All right. This heart basically only B and C made out of muscle that contract and relax continuously. When it contract and relax, it's basically pumping. All right. And it pumps blood through the blood vessels to all parts of the body at all the time. You won't find the heart resting. If the heart resting, stop beating, we'll be all dead. All right. So our heart is a very hardworking organ that do work day and night without fail. So please remember to take care of your heart, all right? Next up. Okay, can I have another volunteer, please? How to answer this question? What are the factors that can affect the heart rate of a person? Is it age, health, or type of activities that is carrying out? All right, can I have the volunteer, please? Okay. Yes, Roland.
So in my opinion, it's number 4, A, B, and C.
Number 4, A, B, and C. All right, you are absolutely right. Okay, so yes, as the age goes, your heart beating affected also. All right, then followed by your health and type of activity carried out by the person. Okay, so let's carry on. So let me just explain for a bit further. All right, our heart rates, right, is actually the number of times the heartbeat in a minute. All right, the heart rate of the average person of a healthy adult stay between 60 to 100 times per minute while at rest, and the heart rate of a person actually changes due to age, health, and a type of activity. For example, a baby, this baby heart rate will be the fastest among all of us. But as age goes by, it will get slower and slower. All right. Then let's carry on. Question 3. I think this is self-explanatory, so I will just move on to 3B. Can I have a volunteer, please? Which of the following statement is not true? Is it number 1, heart is a muscular organ? Number 2, is it blood rich in cardiac flow from the heart to the lungs? Or is it 3 or 4? Can I have a volunteer, please? Yes, David.
I think that it is number 2 because, oh no, I think that it is number 4 because blood rich in oxygen flows from the heart to the body, not from the heart to the lungs.
Very good. Yes, you are nearly going to make a careless mistake. All right. So yes, the heart will pump the blood rich in oxygen from the lungs to all part of body, or from the heart to all part of bodies. Whereas from the heart to lung is always carbon dioxide. All right. Let us carry on. I'll just skip these two. Okay. C. Which of our body parts use oxygen and produce carbon dioxide? Yes. Answer?
I think it is number 2 because the heart, like it's get oxygen to control the blood, and the lungs get oxygen and give it to the earth, and the lungs and the earth for both produce carbon dioxide.
Thank you very much. Actually, the answer is number 4, because all our body parts actually use oxygen and produce carbon dioxide. So remember the explanation from the heart to all part of our body. The heart will be pumping or be all the oxygens and all the digested food to all part of body. When you say all part, means including heart, lung, legs, and arm, all will need oxygen. So it's like basically when the heart will take some for itself, then pump to the remaining material to all other part of bodies. So answer is number 4. So remember one thing, all body parts, including heart, lungs, leg, arm, brain, eyes, whatever, as long as it's part of our body, all use oxygen and produce carbon dioxide. All right. Next up. This question is, which arrow in the diagram PQRS represent the movement of blood rich in oxygen? Let's refer to the diagram now. So which of these arrows PQRS refers to the blood rich in oxygen? Any takers? All right, if no, I will explain now. Okay, for this case, right? For this case, blood P will be the one that is rich in oxygen because it flows from the lungs to the heart. And from the heart to all parts of the body is rich in oxygen, all right? Now, after the oxygen being used by all parts of the body, it will become carbon dioxide and waste where you travel from R back to the heart, from the heart back to the lungs. So for these questions, the answer is P and S. This diagram is very standard for across all countries' papers. No matter which country you are in, the exam question for this topic will always be the same, whereby the lung will always be at the top, followed by the heart and all parts of the body, all right? So remember, one thing is that whichever arrows that goes to the boxes will be known as the heart. Whichever arrow come out first will be the lung, all right? So if that, the answer for this question is P and S, all right? As mentioned earlier on page 1, the two systems that works together to ensure that our body has enough oxygen are actually circulatory system, CIR, CULATORY, and respiratory system, RESPIRATORY. So these are the two systems that works together to produce, not produce, to ensure that the body has enough
Teacher.
oxygen supply. Yes.
Teacher, system, not sister.
I think my typo have an issue. Thanks for reminding. Thank you very much. Okay. I have to go and check on my laptop now. Thanks for your help. All right. So these are the two systems that work together to ensure that, or to enable our body to have enough oxygen supply. All right, let's carry on. All right. As you can see, the lungs is always on the top, the heart always in the middle. All right. So this diagram shows how the blood flows from certain part of body part after Henry had his dinner. So the blood in T has blank than the blood in S. So let us, if you are able to highlight in your examination, I would encourage you to highlight, because this will allow you to see clearly. So where is T? T is from here to small intestine. All right, where S is from small intestine to the heart. Okay, so when we say from the heart to small intestine, we should tell ourselves that small intestine is actually a part of the body. So based on what we have learned earlier, the heart pumps oxygen and food to all part of the body. Therefore, this arrow must be more oxygen. Okay. What's going on? Hang on, more oxygen. All right. More food. Is it? Yes. Okay. Then for this area back to the heart will always be less oxygen, less food, because it is more CO, carbon dioxide, more waste. Okay, So therefore, the answer is number 4. More oxygen, more food. All right. So let's carry on. So for this 5B, any volunteers to take this questions? Yes. Nope. Let's carry on then. Okay, this diagram below shows how blood flows in certain part of body. So which of the following is true? Yes, Calvin.
I think the answer is 4.
Why? Okay, yes, Kevin, you're right. The answer is actually 4. Because the blood flows from the lungs to the heart is rich in oxygen, whereas the blood flows from the other part of bodies back to the heart is rich in carbon dioxide. So you got the answer correct. Thanks very much. Next question. Name the human system that works together to enable our body parts to get sufficient food supply. Can I have a volunteer, please? Any takers to answer these questions? If no, I will carry on. Okay, the two systems that enable our body to have enough food is actually the digestive system, D-I-G-E-S-T-I-V-E, and circulatory system. So C-I-R-C-U-L-A-T-O-R-Y. These two systems, so the human system on digestive works together with this circulatory system to enable all body parts to have food. All right. Next question. How does this food in our small intestine gets to our blood to go to all other body parts to provide energy? So how does it move? In fact, this food will move through the walls of the small intestines into the bloodstream, whereby it will be carried out to the all the body parts. So to answer this question, you have to write this way. Let me just type out for you first. How should you write this? How should you write improper to get a full 1 mark? First, you have to mention one thing, the subject. So the digestive food, all right, in our small intestine, when it move through the walls of the small intestine into the bloodstream and is carried by the blood. Let me just try to see whether can I make it better for you to see. Okay. So the digestive food moves through the walls of the small intestines, all right, into the bloodstream, and it's carried by the blood in order to get to all our body parts to provide energy. All right. All right, you guys can ignore the chat. All right, let's carry on. All right. The question now says that question 6A, they give you a diagram. They are saying that the blood at R contains a greater amount of a substance than at S. So what is this substance? Give a reason for your answer. All right, the first part of question tells you that the blood at R contains a greater amount of something compared to S. Let's find out where is R, where is S, all right? So we know that R is here, is from the head to the heart. Now, where is S? S is from the heart to the head. All right. We know that from the heart to the head means more oxygen, more digested food. From the head to the heart is more carbon dioxide, let's put CO2, more waste. All right. So therefore, the answer for the first part is actually carbon dioxide. Next, the reason. We know that in layman term, in simple terms, the reasoning will be saying that when oxygenated blood at S passes through the head, the cells exchange oxygen for carbon dioxide. This is in a layman term. In simple words, this is how we can explain the activity that's happening in the head in terms of blood. But this is not a scientific way of answering. So if you were to just say that, oh, the oxygenated blood at S pass through the head, the cell exchange oxygen for carbon dioxide, this is wrong. Because the cells exchange oxygen is not a scientific keywords that the examiners are looking for. Instead, what examiner wants to see is this: flow to the blood. This is the keyword that the examiner want to see. So if they don't see this keyword of flows into the blood, even if you write exchange, you are still marked wrong because you did not convince the examiner that you understand this topic. So to answer this question, you have to write as follows. When oxygenated blood at S flows to the head, carbon dioxide produced by the body cells flows into the blood in exchange for oxygen. So the blood at R has a greater amount of carbon dioxide. So for science, the most important thing to answering all these short answer questions is keywords. These students here put exchange oxygen. In fact, in English, it's correct. But however, for science, it's wrong because it did not tell the examiner how they exchange. Does the cell use its hand to give the oxygens to the blood or what? Is it flowing through or is it just stay there and wait for a delivery man to collect? So therefore, the keyword is flows into the bloodstream. All right. So please, this is important. Do think of keywords. Any wrong keywords that you write will cost you a mark, which is quite unfair. All right. So quite not very nice to see when you have studied hard for the examination. All right. So let's carry on. So why is the amount of oxygen in lower at P than at Q? So where is P? P is here. Q is here. Well, at P, the heart actually already the body already used up the oxygen. Therefore, there's more carbon dioxide, and the amount of oxygen is lesser. All right. So the correct explanation is the blood exchange carbon dioxide for oxygen at the lungs and flow to the heart. So the blood at Q from the heart to all our bodies is rich in oxygen. Whereas at so this 1 mark, and at P, the blood is returning to the heart from all part of the body where oxygen in the blood flows into the body part. So it has less amount of oxygen than Q. So notice that for a 2-mark question, you have to write so long. You can actually shorten it, provided you have a keyword in place. You can just say that. You can just say all the words in bold, whereby the blood exchange coming outside for oxygen at the lungs. So the blood at Q is rich in oxygen. At P, the blood is returning to the heart, where oxygen in the blood flows to the body part, so it's less amount of oxygen at Q. So as long as you got all the keyword in place in bold, you are fine. The 2 mark is yours. All right. Let me say it again. For science, it's about keywords. Even if you get the understanding wrong, but if they see the word flows into the part of body, less more oxygen, you still get the 1 mark. All right. Next up. At which body parts does the exchange of carbon dioxide in the blood for the lungs, for oxygen take place? Any volunteers to answer these questions? If no, then I will explain further. So, at which body parts does the exchange of carbon dioxide in the blood for oxygen take place? In our body, there's only one place for the exchange of gases, which is only the lungs. So, why do I say so? Because at the lungs, carbon dioxide in the blood will move into the air sac, while the oxygen in the air sac will move into the blood. And we all know that when you breathe in, breathe out, when you breathe out, we breathe out more carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is actually removed from our body, from our lungs when we breathe out. And during the gas exchange, right, we know that carbon dioxide are being produced by the body part. And this body part will move into the blood and be carried away to the heart, then to the lung to release to the air. So therefore, for this question, number C, the answer is actually lungs. Okay, compare the amount of carbon dioxide in the blood at P and Q. Explain your answers. We know that from the previous question, we know that P is the amount of oxygen in P is lower than Q. Therefore, to explain this question, we'll do it this way. All right. First, we have to explain what the question wants us to answer. Means the amount of carbon dioxide. So we have to say that there is a greater amount of carbon dioxide at P than Q. This will give you 1 mark. You can earn the first mark by answering the question. There is a greater amount of carbon dioxide at P than Q. Next, you explain. How do you start explaining? You must explain why. Why do you say there is greater amount? Why? What makes you think so? The examiner wants you to tell him or her why you say there's greater amount of carbon dioxide at P than Q. So to tackle the next part of the question, you have to say that at Q, always say the location first. At Q, all right, the blood is rich in oxygen, but low in carbon dioxide. As it flows from the heart to, one moment, let me just, from the heart, only one heart, from the heart to to other body parts. Okay. So at Q, the blood is rich in oxygen but low in carbon dioxide as it flows from the heart to other body parts. After it has exchanged carbon dioxide for oxygen at the lungs. This is 1 mark. First, you answer the questions. You answer by telling the examiner, all right, there is a greater amount of carbon dioxide at P than Q, 1 mark. You explain why. Because at Q, the blood is rich in oxygen, but low in carbon dioxide as it flows from the heart to all part of the body after it exchanges carbon dioxide for oxygen in the lungs. So because I already exchanged the carbon dioxide with oxygen in the lungs, then I flow to the other body parts. Therefore, at Q is low in carbon dioxide. So after you explain why at Q, you have to explain what happened at P. So you explain at P, the blood is rich in carbon dioxide as carbon dioxide produced by the body parts flows the blood
Giờ ông kia đưa những cái ca
in exchange for oxygen. This will give you the last 1 mark that you need to score the full 3 marks. All right, so basically, let me just explain again. The first thing you do when answering this long question is to answer the question. They ask you to compare. So it's either greater or lesser. All right. So to answer it, there is a greater amount of carbon dioxide. Can every one of you stop spamming the chat? It is very annoying and it's unfair to the other students who is actually trying to learn. When you spam the chat, there will be all those sound and notifications that will disrupt the students who want to learn. If you don't want to learn, you are free to leave the room. All right. I'll be keeping quiet, not because that I don't see it. I find that I'm giving you a chance to stop. But it seems that you guys can't self-control. Therefore, now I have to explain in class. So remember one thing, let's not use the chat function. If you need anything, you can raise your hand. I will call you and explain to you. Here I am trying to guide you all how to do these questions to get a full 3 marks. But I've been seeing 37 chat display, spamming, telling about ouch, A. So fighting style, if you think that you are good enough, I'm more than happy that you can leave. All right. Thank you. So let me back to the question again. To answer these questions, the first 1 mark is to answer what? The question 1. Compare means either greater or less. So we all know that there is a greater amount of carbon dioxide at P than Q. Once you write this sentence, the first mark you get. Second mark, you have to explain the location. So every location that you see at P and Q each carry another 1 mark and 1 mark. So therefore at Q, the blood rich in oxygen but low in carbon dioxide as it flows from the heart to all other body parts after it exchanged the carbon dioxide for oxygen in the lungs. Even if you write exchange, you still get wrong because the keyword is flows. You must flow and exchange. All right. Same theory here. At P, the blood is rich in carbon dioxide because the carbon dioxide is produced. So the keyword is produce and flow into the blood to exchange for oxygen. All right. Next. You see, there's these two questions look similar, but the way we answer is different. For question D, they ask you compare and explain. So you have to compare and explain. If the question never asks you to explain, don't waste time explaining, all right? Because in examination, you are only given 1 hour and 30 minutes. So it's like equally to like saying that one question you only have 5 minutes to answer. So for this question E, since they ask you to compare, right? So don't explain because they never say explain. So the answer for E is actually there is a greater amount of oxygen at S than at R. That's it. Don't bother explaining because it's already because they only ask you to compare. So why do I say that there is a greater amount of oxygen at S than R? Because blood rich in carbon dioxide. So blood rich in carbon dioxide at R flows from the head to the heart. After the head use finish the oxygen and produce carbon dioxide, it flows back to the heart. All right. Whereas at S, blood rich in oxygen is pumped from the heart to the head. That's why there is a greater amount of oxygen at S than at R. All right, let's carry on. The diagram below shows the flow of the blood flow in some part of our body part. So we have the head, the lung, the heart, and the leg. Okay. Which two arrows are not drawn correctly? All right. To do this question, always remember the flow. Heart to all body to heart to lungs to heart. Once you remember this formula, this concept, right, you are ready to tackle this question. So when the question say that there are two arrows that is not drawn correctly, means to say there are two things that's wrong. So always take a highlighter to draw the yes.
I think it's number 2, right?
Yes, B and C. Okay, thank you very much. So you see, let us draw using the highlighter first. We know that the heart, when the heart come out, it will definitely flow to the body parts. So this A and G is actually correct. Okay. Next up. After the body part is finished, it will go back to the heart. This is correct. Now, this is the portion. All body parts will always go to the heart first before it goes to the lungs. But in this case, our dear head here got two arrows go directly to the lungs, which is wrong. Therefore, answer is B and C. Number 2, blood don't flow from the lungs to the head directly. All right. But blood is instead pumped from the heart to the head. All right. Let's carry on. All right. Can I have a volunteer, please? Which of the following statement is actually true? Any volunteers take on to answer these questions? If no, I will explain further. All right, answer for the question is number 3. Why? Because all blood rich in oxygen will always flows from our lungs to our heart first before it is pumped to other body parts. All right. The blood flow from our head to our leg, not really. You can go, okay. Then we have the carbon dioxide flow about to our lung directly. No, it's go through heart first. So therefore, answer is number 3. Next up, what are the substances that can be found in our circulatory system? All right, for this case, the answer is number 3. A, B, and C. Sugar, you'll find them inside your blood. Water, definitely yes. Carbon dioxide, sure, because the body uses up oxygen and produce carbon dioxide. However, you will not find undigested food in your bloodstream. Can you imagine you have one whole chicken drumstick and it's traveling into your blood vessels? Your blood vessel will go explode because the blood vessel is too small to contain the drumstick. Drumstick can only eat with our mouth, then go to our stomach, where it will further break down your small parts to the small intestine, and you'll flow through the walls into the bloodstream and be carried away by the blood vessels to all parts of the body. So the blood don't carry undigested food. The moment when we eat from our mouth, the food is already been digested. All right. So, as mentioned earlier, the bloodstream diagram. This is a typical blood flow diagram, whereby the lungs, the blood will first flow from the heart to the lungs and slowly move away. All right. So this is one of the diagram that you will see in examination. It should be on page 31. 31. No, yeah. All right. So you can take notes at question number 6. All right. Let's carry on. Lucy, I hope I answer your questions. Let's carry on. So therefore, the answer is 3. All right. Next up. I'll skip this because they already have it already. Oh, I can't skip this. So I'll carry on. Okay, first question. Identify gas X and Y. So gas X is here from system P to Q. Gas Y from system Q to P. When you see this diagram, many of our students are shocked. We're shocked. Why? Teacher Andrew, you mentioned that the diagram flow is like this. Here, why am I seeing this? Well, this is another form of diagram flow, but it is in another direction. So this diagram flow is in portrait mode on your iPad portrait. This diagram is in landscape mode. So it just twist and turn the diagram to landscape mode. And many of our students are blurred. How to tackle this diagram? The first thing first, look at the keyword. What do you see? You see surrounding air, you see exhale air, you see food, you see gas system in the middle. So think, what system actually take in surrounding air and give out exhale air? The answer is respiratory system, which is the main organ, is actually the lungs. All right. Then, which system actually takes the surrounding air or surrounding oxygen into the body, which is actually the heart? Which food is digested and flow together in the system? It is the digestive system, which includes the small intestine. After you write the organs that is involved, this diagram become more clearer. from the lungs to the heart. We know that from the lungs, the blood flows from the lungs to the heart is rich in oxygen. Therefore, gas X is oxygen. Which gas flow from the heart back to the lung? Carbon dioxide. So therefore, gas Y is carbon dioxide. So what is system P? System P is actually the respiratory system, all right? Because it takes in oxygen and remove carbon dioxide from the body. What is system Q? System Q, because heart. Where does heart, or which system does heart belongs to? The answer is Q is circulatory system. Why? Because it carries useful materials such as oxygen and digested food to all body parts. And lastly, what is system R? System R is actually digestive system, where the small intestine, the food will pass through the walls of small intestines and flow into the bloodstream. All right. So let's carry on. Oh, I have to answer this. Same diagram here, but this time around is the other way around. Just now you see the diagram here, the air is at this side, on the left side of the screen. Now, the diagram, the air is at the right side of the screen. So always remember to see the main thing, which is the air or lungs. Where is it located? From there, you will know how to answer the questions. So what are blood P and blood Q rich in? Where is blood P? Blood P is from system Z to Y. Q is from X to Y. We know that system Z got air involved. When you have air involved, the system is respiratory system, the lungs. So from lungs to system Y, lung always to the heart first. So this flow is actually rich in oxygen. Therefore, its answer is either 1 or 2. Now look at Q. Q is from the food. Food is small intestine. Small intestine means I have digested food flow. So therefore, blood Q is rich more in digested food, which is answer number 1. All right. Whereby oxygen gets into the bloodstream. All right. From the lungs to the heart. All right. Q. Sorry. Then Q actually is digested food gets to the bloodstream from the small intestine. Therefore, answer is number 1. All right. So what is system X? System X is here. When you see the word food arrow down in our body, which system is linked with food? Answer is digestive system. So why is digestive system important? So this question is 1 mark. So we don't need to explain too much. Like I say, examination, we don't have time. So you just say that X is digestive system. Why is it important? It breaks down food into simple substance. Okay. If you want to use a substance, or and then okay, that's and then that's it. Or the other way you can write that, you can write it digests food. For the body to use. That's it. It's only 1 mark. Don't have to answer, don't have to write so many stories. Just 1 mark question, simple. X is digestive system. Either you write it break down food in a simple system, or it digested food for body to use. That's it. All right. With that, like I say, you don't have time in examination. All right. I'm not sure how Vietnam papers are, but for Singapore, we have paper 1 and paper 2. There's plenty of questions to answer. 1 hour, 30 minutes is not enough. So long story short and sweet, X is the digestive system. It breaks down food into simple substance. That's it. All right. Let's carry on. 4 pupils are carrying out different activities. All right. Who is likely to have the highest heart rate? Any volunteers? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No one? Okay, let's carry on. Let's carry on then. So we have Cindy who is eating. Eating. When you see the word eating means I'm relaxing on my chair, I'm sitting down on my chair, I'm eating my sushi, slowly enjoying. Having said that, enjoying eating, all right, this activity is very relaxing. When it is relaxing, right, your heart don't beat so fast because your body don't need more oxygen to eat. So you're eating, it's just normal relaxing. So the heart rate is very low. So number 1 is actually out. Sandy who is singing. When we sing, do we use up many energy? When we sing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, di, do, we are just like relaxing, singing. So therefore, the heart rate will be low as well. Gary, who is skipping. Skipping is a type of exercise. So the more vigorous the activity that you are doing, the higher the heart rate will be. So Gary, who is skipping, yes, so far 1, 2, 3. Gary is skipping. Skipping is a form of exercise, so the heart rate will be the highest. Let's look at number 4. David, who is chit-chatting with his classmate. When you chit-chat, you're just sitting down or standing up and say hello to each other. I don't think you will have a lot of energy wasted. All right. So therefore, among all these 4 options, the only answer that we gotten is number 3. Gary, who is skipping. All right. So other than exercise, list 2 other factors that may affect the heart rate. As mentioned earlier in the earlier part of lesson, one of the important things that will affect is the age and health. I think I spelled wrong again. H-E-A-L-T-H. Condition. All right. So age and health conditions are the other 2 factors that affects the heart rate of the person. What are the substances needed for our body in order to get energy? For these questions, we know that our heart pumps digested food and oxygen to all part of our body in exchange for carbon dioxide and waste. Therefore, the answer is food and oxygen. You do not need to explain in full that the substance needed by our body part in order to get the energy for carrying out the activity are food and oxygen. You don't have time to write long story. Just simple, clear-cut food and oxygen. That's it. Don't write grandmother's story or the substance needed by the body part. It's quite long. No. Okay, to answer this 1 mark question, just food and oxygen. All right, next up. List the 3 human systems that works together to enable our muscle to get enough energy for muscle contraction where we are exercising. All right, always remember in our body, only 3 systems work together very well. The answer is respiratory system, circulatory system, and digestive system. All right. So just you're right. Respiratory system, circulatory system, and digestive system.
Can I do the next one, teacher?
Sorry?
Can I do the next one?
Oh, sure. Circulatory system, digestive system, and all right, yes. Why our heart rate increase when we are exercising?
Because we're too tired and it need oxygen.
Very good. But it's not enough to get a full 2 marks. So, yes, you're right. Our heart rate increases because our body needs more oxygen. So, we must say that why our heart rate increase? Because our heart needs to pump blood faster in order to supply the body part with oxygen and food more quickly. Right? It also carry waste material away from the body more quickly. Okay, students, there is an important thing need to note for this question. All right. In layman terms, we know that our body need more oxygen, more food. But however, we cannot write this word more in terms of the heart. One mistake that one student did in my examination that I saw, right, is that he wrote this. Our heart need to pump more oxygen to the body. This is wrong. Why? Because our heart cannot pump more oxygen. It can only pump the faster. When you say more, basically you are trying to tell me that. Let me draw an example for you, okay? When a student say our heart pump more oxygen to the body, this means to say, right, you will see that the blood vessel means like this. So means at any point of time, right, you will see a lump in your body across all your body part in order to pump more oxygen. No, all right. If you were right, our heart need to pump more oxygen to a body part, you are wrong. Because at any point of time, the heart only can pump a certain number of oxygen, depending on the number of cells that's in the blood. So the correct definition or the correct answer should be our heart need to pump blood faster. So heart rate increase because our heart need to pump blood faster, not more, faster in order to supply the body part with oxygen and food more quickly. So not because that our heart need to pump more blood. So at any point of time, you'll see your blood vessel floating around your body, a big chunk. No. All right. It's just the way how you would phrase it. The correct keyword here is pump blood faster. So student, remember, do not write more blood. More blood or more oxygen. Must write pump blood faster. This will help you to prevent any careless mistake of it. All right. So the answer for this question is our heart need to pump blood faster in order to supply the body part with more oxygen. Sorry, not more, sorry, my bad. Our heart need to pump blood faster in order to supply the body with oxygen and food more quickly. It also carry waste material away from the body more quickly. All right. Let's carry on. So, in comparison between the human transport system and the plant transport system, we know that the plant transport system is made out of water carrying tube and food carrying tube. In this case, we know that the human transport system is made out of what? It's made out of the heart the blood and the blood vessels. Okay. Next up. Yes, the plants transistor have no blood flowing in the tubes, because plants don't have blood. Whereas for the human transistor have blood flowing. No, not flowing. In tubes. All right. Food and water are transported by separate tube. However, for our human, food and water are transported by the same tube. All right. Last questions. For plant transport system, there is no organ to pump any substance, but for our human has an organ known as the heart to pump blood to other parts of the body. All right. With that, we'll end the session now. So, students, I hope you know what we go through for today. All right. We know that the homework is actually until okay. So the next lesson we'll be going through the remaining and plus some new things. So I will send in Zalo what I need you to do for homework, and we will carry on to study together next week. All right. With that, I will end today's session. Thanks very much. Thank you very much. Sorry to take your time.
See you,
All right.
teacher.
Bye, teacher.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.